Studio. She's Wales's most glamorous and famous export, whose powerful voice and tiger-like qualities have wooed audiences across the world. This year, she celebrates an incredible 40 years as a top entertainer, but then her mother always said she was born to sing.
Something in the way he moves, and all I have to do is think of him. Something in the things he showed me. Don't wanna leave him now. You know I believe in him. The minute you walked in the joint, I could see you were. Do you like that? A real big spender, good looking, so refined. So wouldn't you like to know what's going on in my mind? So let me get right to, but here it comes again. I don't pop my cork for every man I see. Hey, big spender, spend a little time with me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shirley Bassey. You will never get away from that song,
No,
you know.
no, I don't want to. It's fun.
40 years is unbelievable, but to celebrate it as that little last piece there came from, the opening of the International Arena in Cardiff, going home to Wales for you, how was it?
It's always terrifying, you know, the local girl coming home, having made good. You have to prove yourself that much more, I feel.
But when there about, I thought you'd be happy because there were about 10,000 men there, weren't there?
Actually, they said that, Alan. There was 8,500 because I counted everyone. I did. That was sensational. When I walked out, they were all behind me. And the roar that went up from them, you know, and I looked around, and it was just incredible to see that many men and not get near any one of them. You know? I mean, it was so frustrating.
But you see, I've been in here this morning while you've been rehearsing. The thing that strikes me about you is it's so powerful. It knocks you back in your chair, this huge sound. Was it that powerful even when you were tiny?
Yeah, it was powerful because I was tiny, I suppose. And then I thought, as I got into my teens, like a boy soprano, you know, it kind of it was high-pitched. And then over the years, it sort of mellowed out. And then I had some vocal exercises. And I was trying to explain to some friends last night over dinner that, because they asked me if I changed the keys of any of my songs, if I had to bring them down. And I said, no, they're still the same keys, you know.
But it just got...
I think so, aren't they, Mike? Where's Michael? Oh, you're dressed! Oh, yes. They're all... Is that for me?
Well, you never dress
I've been
us.
watching... Because I do watch you.
Do you?
Oh, yes, I do, in Monte Carlo. And...
Place drop.
Place drop.
Place drop.
We do get to...
You see, Shirley Bassey and I share the same musical director,
Yes.
you know. Except he changes when you come on.
Well, yes, because I was fed up of seeing them all in the same shirt, and I wanted to call from Monte Carlo and say, look, could you ask them to change their shirts, because I'm fed up of seeing them the same colour. But Michael said that they had different ones and they were laundered every day anyway.
Every day? I was every week from the aroma down. Look, forget him. We'll give him a spotlight later. Never go
Yes, I'd like to.
I want to establish a bit when you actually made this leap from being a tiny tot with a Yorkshire mum. So
Yes,
we've got something in common apart from the musical director having a Yorkshire mum. Was she terribly pushy? Did she say to you, Shirley, come on, you
she wasn't a stage mum at all. She was very laid back. She was an Aries, and maybe in Capricorn. I was the pushy one.
So she was a Yorkshire ram and you were a
and
goat.
she was the calming one. Yes, we were head on. And she was the calming influence in my life. And
but she was the one who
she's
said
the
you
one
were
who said
born
go back.
to sing,
Yeah.
so.
Because when I tried show business, I didn't like it. I went home and got a job as a waitress, and I don't know, must have been unhappy, and my mother saw that. And she said, why don't you go back to show business? I think she wanted to get me out of the house, really.
Why didn't you like it? What didn't appeal to it about it at that time?
I didn't like the backstage, sort of the bitchiness and from the other members of the cast and that, And I was the baby in the show, and
you took
it was
to
my
home.
first time away from home, and I was homesick, and I took it to heart.
But you went back and you did the Glasgow Empire, which is renowned as being the hardest place to play.
Well, Moss Empire said, if you want to play our theatres, we'll send you to Glasgow, which they did to everybody, And if you pass the audience in Glasgow, you've got a contract to play the rest of the Moss Empire.
How did you go down?
Theatres. Well, I was sitting in the dressing room making up, and I could hear this booing going on for all the other artists that went on before me, and I couldn't believe it. So I went out in the wings, and I said, no, this is ridiculous. Maybe they won't do it for me, And I went out, and I had a fast number. So that's why I think we always sing fast numbers, so we can't hear everybody. And then I had this slow number, like, I've got you under my skin, and everybody went, whoa, get off, take your clothes. And they went on and on. So in the end, I stopped. And in this very Welsh accent, I said, listen here. I've come here tonight to entertain you. And if you don't bloody want me, I'd go home. But at least give me a chance. Well, the place went silent, and I was in there like Flint, I'm not giving them time to take their breath here.
You won them over in the end.
And I got them, and I got the contract, and I've been like that ever since.
So many of your songs are memorable. You see, I mean, when you're choosing, I know. I'm a Goldfinger, so always sends shivers down my spine. But how do you pick a song? How do you say that one's for me?
The same as what you just said. It shivers down your spine, or here, or it takes me back to something in my life, I relate to.
We've got a clip of some of the best ones, because there have been an awful lot. Most people would kill for one of these songs. You had them all.
Really? When you smile, I can see you were born for me, and for me you will be do or die. Oh baby, let me hold you. You make me want to hold you. When you smile, 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 smile. Kiss me, honey, honey, kiss me. Thrill me, honey, honey, thrill me. Don't care even if I blow my top, but honey, honey, don't stop. Diamonds are forever. Hold one up and then caress it. Touch it, stroke it and undress it. I can see every part, nothing hides in the heart to hurt me. I love you, hate you, but I want you till the world stops turning. For whatever you do, to be in love with anyone but you. This is me. This is me. Nobody does it like me. Nobody does it like me.
You know, when you watch something like that, you think, my goodness, those frocks. You've got nearly as many as me. I mean, are they?
I knew there was something strange about you. That tie, for instance.
Well, it's not a strange tie.
Does it come in colours?
This is in honour of you, because you're wearing black. But are they just props, or do you really like choosing your frocks?
I love them. I love gorgeous clothes, especially for stage, sequins and all that. And yet, in my private life, I'm a very conservative dresser.
So what, are you?
I mean, look at this. I mean, this is not sexy, is it, really?
Well, I don't know.
You know. But it was I didn't know what to wear, you know, because it's lunchtime, you know.
Yeah, we've got this glam set, but it's
and
glam
I'm normally
style,
asleep this time anyway. So I am.
Well, how do you watch us
I am what
then?
I am.
Do you mean you watch us in bed?
Yes, of course I do. Especially you.
Give over. you get me all excited
He's
in a minute.
He's blushing. He's blushing.
Rushing onto me embalming fluid.
No, I like glamorous gowns and sexy gowns for the stage because I believe that that's what people want. There's not enough glamour in life.
Do you, I mean, you know, as we were saying when you came on, Big Spender is the song that you'll always be associated with. Are you really, do you like spending money?
What? You I mean, that's...
You're born to shop?
Oh, I have a black belt in shopping.
What do you buy apart from clothes? What do you spend it on?
Jewellery. I love jewellery. I collect Art Deco jewellery. Shoes.
Not an Imelda Marcos. How many pairs have you got?
Well, she had 2,000.
Yeah.
Well, I have 1,999.
I'll get you a pair of carpet slippers when you go on.
I could do with those. You know, that's one thing I never buy, slippers.
Do you mind, we'll talk about your new work in a moment, but do you mind being reminded of things like the Bond themes? Is it the kind of thing you prefer to leave behind? You see, I'm
no, not at all.
Goldfinger and Diamonds Are Goldfinger, you see, and Diamonds Are Forever. You wear them, don't you?
Yes.
But do you like them, those songs?
Goldfinger?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that went around the world. I mean, that made me really an international star.
Still a thrill in performing it?
No, not really. I keep trying to change it with Michael, and we went into kind of do a little funky thing, and it didn't work, and we went back to the old arrangement.
Both like it the way it was.
Yeah.
But the thing you have done now
so
is...
old, you know?
Yeah, but it's so good, isn't it? I mean, give
I know
Goldfinger. But what you have done now is you've done this new album, which is Shirley Bassey sings the songs of Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yes.
How did it come about?
Gordon Lorenz, the producer, my producer, and it was his idea, because I wanted to do the two numbers from Sunset Boulevard and make it up with some other songs that I had I've been collecting over the last couple of years that I would just love to record. And Gordon said, no, why don't we make the whole album of Andrew Lloyd Webber? And I was a bit nervous because they're all show tunes, and I thought, well, you know, they might want me to do them as in the show, and then I couldn't put the Shirley Bassey stamp on them, you know. But we have something in the show business which is called artistic license. So we could change around, like we did with As If We Never Said Goodbye.
Yeah.
In the show it's this long, but on record we brought it down. And then from the song from Starlight Express, that was in the show done as a very slow ballad, and we did it as a big band up-tempo.
Well, why don't you do it now as a big band up-tempo number?
Now?
Will you do that? The Spot of Starlight Express.
Yeah.
Here we go. Starlight Express, Shirley Bassey.
You get the feeling that sleep is gonna stay away tonight. That's when you hear it coming. That's when you hear the humming of the midnight train. Here again, can't explain that midnight train, that midnight train. Starlight Express, you must confess, are you real? Yes or no? To go, want you to take me away, but bring me back before daylight and in the time between. Take me to everywhere, but don't abandon me there. Just want to say, please, believe in you completely. Though you may be dreaming sweetly about the midnight train. Here again, can't explain that midnight train, that midnight train. Starlight Express, you must confess that you're real. Yes or no? Starlight Express, answer me yes. I don't want you to go. Starlight Express, answer me yes. I don't want you to go. Starlight Express, you must confess, are you real? Yes or no? Starlight Express, answer me yes. I don't want you to go. Starlight Express, you must confess, are you real? Yes or no? Starlight Express, answer me yes. I don't want you to Thank you. Thank you.
I feel better. I got the blood coursing through my veins, that did.
Did you?
Well, you've just come back from this tour. You always seem to be touring now. You come back from Berlin, where you were appearing with Ray Charles and Liza Minnelli. What an evening that must have been.
It was. I mean, 15,000 people nearly every night. I went on first, which was very strange for me, and we all had like 40 minutes each. And it was, the most difficult part was choosing the numbers, you know, what numbers to put in and what to take out.
Well, if you get some that, with Liza, you both do some of the similar songs, don't you?
Well, I had to give up New York, New York, obviously. It was no pain for me to do it at all. I said, that's Liza's song.
Yeah. Are you happy touring now? It seems that your life is spent now going from one gig to another.
Well, a couple of years ago, I said, that's it, you know, I'm only going to work, you know, sort of special occasions and, you know, I'm going to pick and choose. I'm working more than ever now. I mean, I went into semi-retirement. And
not now.
certainly not
well
now.
Back.
I mean, I just can't wait to go home tomorrow to have a rest.
Oh. But are you, by nature, do you think, a loner? I mean, touring is a lonely job. Are you a loner?
Yes. Success is lonely.
What?
It's very lonely.
And yet you're prepared to settle for the loneliness bit because the other's so good.
Well, it goes with it. I mean, there's nothing I can do about that. On the road, I'm very happy because I have a wonderful gang that travels with me, and thank God, we're like family, and we laugh, and we have a great time together. We're very comfortable with each other. I know Michael's saying, yeah. And it's just, that's very important. Really, that is very important, because if you have anybody with you that you don't get on with, I mean, forget it. You can't work, because it's very arduous. It's very demanding. It's very exacting.
Well, you've got a reputation as a demanding performer. Are you demanding?
On myself, I'm terribly demanding. Yes.
But you see, it seems to me that you've never taken yourself too seriously when it comes to the crunch. The reason I say that is because we've got a little piece of film here that I will never forget, because it proved that she didn't take herself too seriously.
So I chose them and I gaily loved to think they could down. Yet today
Oh, but that was great fun.
You see, every time I see you in one of these slinky dresses now, I always have to keep looking down to see if you're wearing those boots.
Did you see when they did This Is Your Life on me recently, that Ernie came on with high-heel gold shoes saying, "Where are my boots?"
Give me my boots
Give
back.
me my boots back. And I said, that's where my gold shoes went. You know? He was wearing them.
You live in Monte Carlo, as you already name-dropped here to us. Very, very sickening. But is there a special man in Bassey's life now? I mean, are you still looking?
No, I'm not looking. No, I had enough, thank you very much. I had 2 marriages, a couple of engagements, and a couple of 100 boyfriends.
Do you never just, keep thinking, no, giving it all together? I can't believe you.
No, I'm a great flirt. I mean, haven't you noticed I've been flirting with you? I mean, sort of all day. I love to flirt. I'm in love with romance. I mean, I love it.
It all sounds like there's
a man sends me a bouquet of flowers.
Yeah, but does the reality not then live up to the expectation? Is that what it is? Is it harder for a woman like you? Is it hard for a strong woman to find a man who can live up to her expectations?
Yes.
What's your ideal man then? All right, he doesn't exist, but what would he be like?
He must exist somewhere, maybe on another planet. Obviously, I mean, he has to be tall, handsome,
rich.
Me out
on the first count.
Sense of humour.
I've got that.
Yes, yeah, that you do have,
yeah. How do you think then, we're saying it's 40 years or so at the top, how have you changed? Have you mellowed a bit?
Very much so, yes. I never thought I would be happy living alone, because I never lived alone. I came from a big family, and I went into show business at 16, and then the people in the show became my family. And every time I went into another show, they became my family. We were very close. And then at 24 I was married, and then again for the second time. So I always had a man in my life, or a family around, And suddenly, 10 years ago, my children had grown up, and I was divorced, and I found myself on my own. In the first year, it was just hell. And then after, it was just heaven.
Do you think you're a granny now? Right.
Yes.
I mean, do you enjoy being a granny in a way more than you enjoy being a mum?
Yes, because I think most grandmothers will say this, that they are better with the grandchildren than they were with the children, because the children was their responsibility, and the grandchildren are not your responsibility.
You can hand them back at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, then, I've had enough! I've had enough now, please take them home.
Are you very, I mean, you're saying you're a bit covered. Are you an impatient sort of person?
Not with my work. In my private life, I'm terribly impatient. I'm completely the opposite. I'm like Jekyll and Hyde when it comes to
so
work. So
painstaking in the work and brisk when
oh,
you're
I
at
have
home.
incredible patience. I stand for hours for those gowns, believe it or not. I do. And rehearsals, no problem. I mean, when I do a rehearsal or even a sound check, I sing full out, you know. I don't send in a dep. And in my private life, everything is the complete opposite.
Much more
I am
there.
so impatient. It's completely
the difference. I can never work out why you've never acted, because your songs are so cram-packed full of emotion, of power, of acting, if you like, and you think, I'm incredibly surprised that you've not taken to the boards and done something which involves the music and the acting in between.
Well, that would, I suppose, because that calls for direction, you see, and somebody would have to direct me and say stop and start, and I can't do that. Once I'm on, I have to go. So what I do right now suits me and my temperament, because it is me. And when I go on stage, I start and I finish. There's no stopping or start, you know.
You go on and you do it. Are you still as nervous as you were in those early days? Do you still get terrified?
Oh, I still get nervous, yes. Very much so. And I didn't think I would, doing the tour with Liza and Ray, being on first. And then Liza said, you know, Sammy Davis Jr. and I, we had this thing that we take each other to the stage and we collect each other from the stage. And I thought, the only people that go to the stage with me are my secretary, my hairdresser, and Michael, you know. And we talk, and then suddenly I walk away from them, and I have to be on my own somewhere with a nice glass of water to sip, and pray to God, say, please take these nerves away, God, please, you know, I was such a good girl, you know. and breathe deeply, you know. And then I hear the music, and I walk into that spotlight. And of course, it's also the audience. The volume of that applause. So it's magic time, and the adrenaline starts going, and I'm away. But it's not like that every night. Sometimes I'm so nervous that it stays with me to the end, and oh, God, that's awful.
Do the songs still give you the thrill? You know, talking about that shiver down the spine. I mean, I can't believe you still don't feel that when you're performing them, because it's there.
Oh, yes, I'm saying, those notes that I hit, you know, Goldfinger is so old, and it's showing it now, you know, because I mean, it's showing its age. And I don't know what to do with it. You know, I've tried every which way, you know. But I love to introduce new songs into the act for me, so that I don't become jaded, you know, and sort of...
You see, you're about, you know, one of the things on this new album is the song from Sunset Boulevard, and everybody says, but there's a brilliant part in Sunset Boulevard for us.
It's a great part.
Well, wouldn't you do it?
No, because I could not stay in the same place, do the same thing night in and night out. The singing would be lovely, but the lines. I'm not an actress. I'm not an actress to speak lines.
Will you ever retire?
I doubt it. While the voice is still there, I'm going to be like Sinatra and still be going.
How do you keep it there? I mean, do you...
Train. I vocalize. I go to the gym. I watch my diet.
Yeah, I saw a bit of you in a leotard there, so you're a bit of an iron pumper, are you?
No, no, I'm not an iron pumper. I tried that, and I cricked my neck, so that's out. I really did. It was one of those, you know. And it still hurts a bit, actually.
Well, look, you can hold your neck fairly straight if you will give us a song from Sunset Boulevard. Would you like a bit of Sunset Boulevard?
Can I have some water, please?
Have a sip of water. Have a sip of water and let you go over and sing, ladies and gentlemen, Shirley Bassey and As If We Never Said Goodbye from Sunset Boulevard.
I don't know why I'm frightened. I know my way around here. The cardboard trees, the painted seas, the sound here. There's a world to rediscover. But I'm not in any hurry. But I need a moment. The whispered conversations in overcrowded hallways. The atmosphere as pleasant here as always. Feel the early morning madness. Feel the magic in the making. Yes, everything's as if we never said goodbye. I don't want to be alone. That's all in the past. This world's waited long enough. I've come home at last. And this time will be bigger and brighter than red. So watch me fly. We all know I can do it. Could I stop my hand from shaking? Has there ever been a moment with so much to live for? I'm coming out of makeup. The light's already burning. Not long until the cameras will start turning. We'll have early morning madness. We'll have magic in the making. Yes, everything's as if we never said goodbye. Yes, everything's as if we never said goodbye.
Thank you. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, Shirley Bassey. And your coach.